Hello, this is Nick again, and just a reminder that these videos are sponsored by the Royalty Approach to Education, RATE, and it recently developed the overall performance score, and you can calculate a student's overall performance score by going to the website opscors.com, that is opscores.com, to calculate the student's overall performance score. And also, if you want to see my writings, you can go to the bookpatch.com or teacherspayteachers.com. Still in part 1 of classroom behavior management, section A, maintaining classroom discipline. In the previous video, we looked at the types of students that a teacher could possibly expect to meet when he or she gets into a classroom. In this video, we are talking about mental and physical preparation for dealing with discipline in the classroom. These suggestions will mostly be for new teachers. We are not concentrating too much on experienced teachers in these particular, at least in this video. They're more specifically geared toward new teachers who are just getting ready to teach. There is not a lot that I could say or I could suggest about physical preparation because pretty much everyone knows, how to physically prepare yourself to teach. It's not a very labor intense or physically labor intense job. But there are a few things that I would like to suggest or would like to say. Number one, if you walk around the classroom a lot during the morning hours, that's generally before lunch, you might become quite exhausted by the afternoon. So you must consider that, because in the afternoon you might have a class that is quite disruptive, and by then you might not have as much energy to deal with that particular class. Also, you need to understand that students' behavior in the morning is very different from the way they behave after lunch. It could be drastically different. So if you exhaust yourself in the morning, you might not have as much energy to deal with a rowdy or rambunctious or disruptive class in the afternoon. 3, you should take advantage of when a quote-unquote bad class is behaving properly early in the day, because sometimes they do tend to behave very well early in the day. It probably would not happen, the next session where you have them in the afternoon. And of course, you have some classes that are during the lunchtime, and that some of it could be good, some of it could be not so good. Sometimes the children are a little antsy because they're hungry. It's time for them to go to lunch. But generally, the morning sessions are generally good, and the after lunch sessions are generally quite a challenge. So in the morning, if you can do a lot of teaching in the morning, that would help. But there again, it depends on what class you can have in the afternoon. But if you want to get a lot of teaching done, it really is best to do it during the morning hours. Other than that, you should just know what you should do to prepare yourself physically. But in terms of mental preparation, there are a number of things that I could say about that. Remember, it is a terrible thing to lose one's mind, and some of you may remember that as a joke in the political arena. Starting from the first one, I think you would sort of figure out what the first one is. Everybody says that. You go with a positive attitude. It's a very common thing that people say. But I think it's a good start. Uh, I do not generally say that very often, but it is a good start to have a positive attitude. Number two, do not come with a very definite plan of action. Pretty much an open mind, but do not come thinking that something that you have pre-planned is definitely going to work. Such a plan could generally come from your college preparation or your practicum. You think that this thing is going to work. Now, remember, it's not that it might not work. It might work. Just that you never know whether it's going to work optimally until you actually try to implement it. You might have to change whatever you have, or you could use whatever you have, but whatever decision is made, it should be made when you get there and you start working. Number three, understand that many things that you have learned in college would not be true, at least for a while. They might become true or truer, if there's such a word, um, as time passes, and you'll find out. You'll find out as time goes on. But be very careful, very careful in thinking that the things that you learned in college are always applicable to what you're going to practice. Instead, leave enough open space to learn as you go along by watching. You're watching teachers, you're watching administrators, you're watching students. You have to watch the students. You're listening. You try certain things. You're failing, and you're also succeeding. But when you do fail, you're gonna try again. And you're gonna modify, adjust until you find that happy place in which you are comfortable. So you need to listen to everyone. Number four, you listen to everyone. Listen to teachers, administrators, secretaries, anybody that works at the school. Listen to them. Security guards, custodians, they all have something to say. And they have heard a lot. They've heard a lot. They've gone through a lot. And don't limit yourself to only listening to teachers. Listen to everyone. And then you will have to determine for yourself the information that you can use after you have listened to all of them, and formulate your own plan, your own system, because ultimately it's going to be your own system that works. Number five, it is a very serious mistake to think that you know what to do just because you have been trained. A very, very dangerous thing. You should not discard your training, but try to get a dose of reality. A classroom can be a nightmare for a new teacher, but that is no different from starting a new job in any profession. There is that intimidating factor that is going to be present, um, but you got to leave room for modifications, for new ideas, for changes, and don't come thinking that just because you were trained, because training and teaching is a little different from other types of training, because everything depends on the group of students that you actually get. And that group of students could change from class to class, and sometimes quite drastically. Um, Take for example, what a custodian mentions while he or she is cleaning your classroom after school. You might be in the classroom while the custodian is cleaning, and could just be talking, but that information could be more valuable than a research that you had done, even a research that you would have done to complete your master's thesis on the same issue. Listen to him or her, even if you have to pretend. Custodians can tell the type of teachers, or tell which teachers really do have control over their classes. So you need to listen to them. 6. Don't think that there is a method that actually works. The best method would be the one that you develop. That is most probably going to be a combination of several different ideas from different places. Okay? And as I've always said, no method in education is good or bad. Maybe I'm right about that. Maybe. And don't think that this is all I have to say about mental preparation, because there are other things about mental preparation, but we'll have to stop the video now. For the next video, we're going to talk about meeting teachers and administrators, um, and how meeting them could affect your classroom discipline. So until next time, this is Nick, and thank you.